So hello everyone. So we'll be continuing our attribution model and we'll be talking about the last interaction attribution model. This is a second attribution model we'll be talking about, right? So as we discussed into the first interaction attribution model, the entire credit or the entire attribution is given to the first very touch point. And in contrast to the same, here into this very model wherein we are talking about the last interaction attribution, the attribution will be given to the last point of interaction. Because here the brand feels like that whatever has been the last touch point, that should be attributed or that should be given the proper credit for converting a lead into sale, because till time what happened, it was only a lead or it was only an opportunity that converted into a sale only after the last touch point has given its push. So that is why you would see many companies who are giving the attribution or the credit to the last point of interaction, because what happens out is they feel like that okay, when there being a first touch, the lead was created, the opportunity was created, but what brings a customer to the close is your last point, the last touch point. So if the customer has traveled through, it has travels through multiple touch points, but it hasn't made a sale. So it made a sale only when it come in interaction with the last point of your touch point or last point of interaction. So that is why the full attribution should be given to the last touch point. So again, for example, if the customer been through any direct mails have been there have been search engine result pages, there have been website, there have been paid banner advertisements, there have been social media pages, right? Now whatever touch point the customer interacted at the last, that should be given the full credit or the full attribution for the same. Supposingly the customer has first seen a mail, right? Then he went for those let's say website search, then he left the thing, and after few days or few weeks he does what is, he just randomly put in some search strings into the Google or into some browser, right? And accordingly the search engine result page pops up, which brings some A, B, C, D things, and whatever comes into the top, he clicks onto the same and takes it up to the next page. Okay, now again let's suppose after scrolling through the same, he doesn't make a purchase. The one fine day customer find the brand onto its social media page, onto various social media page. So through that the customer made the final purchase, let's say. So that final social media interaction that the customer had, that is to be given the full attribution, right? And that is why it is called as your last touch attribution model, and it is entirely opposite of your first touch attribution model. And it believes into this thing that the lead, the very last touch point is a lead that interacted before getting converted, and it is a most common one. You would see it for every firm which is going for shorter sales cycle, which knows that there are only fewer touch points. So sometimes it also happens the first point is also the last point. Now how does that happen? The customer let's suppose the customer saw the advertisement onto any social media page, then he goes through the website, then he also goes through the email that he personally received into the inbox, then again he sees the same website onto another social media platform. So here in this case, the first and the last touch remains the same, right? Because in case of your budding entrepreneurs, in case of your small scale operators, there are only various, you could say, fewer touch points. So that is why the first and the last touch point generally remains the same, because they advertise mostly onto few selected channels, and that is why this last touch attribution model, it is being preferred only by those who are having shorter cycles. Now the third into the series is your linear attribution model. Now, linear, as the name reflects, it gives the equal weightage to each touch point. That means it says, okay, no very touch point is so dominant, is so powerful. It is the equal contribution of each and every touch point that converts our initial lead into an opportunity that is converted into a sales. So that gives equal weightage to all the points into an attribution model. So if you've gone through that, let's suppose a direct purchase, or you've gone through a third party banner advertisements, you go through any search engine results, you go through social media, you go through email marketing. So it will do what is, it will give the equal weightage to all the attribution or to all the touch points, because it believes that equal credit should be given to all the touch points with which the customer interacts into that entire journey. So if you remember, out of those 4 points, the major point that I said is that the marketer should focus on to customer journey. So when we are talking about customer journey, we should highlight the important points. So this model says that each and every touch point in itself is very crucial, and thereby equal weightage should be given, right? But again, into this very model, you could see that there is no one effective marketing channel. You will not be able to identify one marketing channel, one effective marketing channel, because it's a very integrated, balanced approach to see into, to look into the buyer's journey, to see into what all the touch points have been before converting a lead into a final sale. So that is what this very model, this very part of the model, it talks about a very balanced approach while making an assessment of the buyer's journey. So it will never ever tell you that, okay, this point A is the most effective or point C is the most effective. Rather, it will tell you that this point A, B, C and D, all of them are effective one in order to convert the lead into the final sale, right? The next very model comes is the decisive factor in the time decay attribution model. So this, it says, the closer the time that the touch point occurred is to the conversion, the higher credit that particular touch point receives. Now, when we say the higher touch point that particular point receives is that, let's suppose the whatever the time duration is there in between, making a final purchase to the initial point, right? So it says that the closer the lead or the touch point is to the conversion, the greater should be given the preference to that particular touch point. Now let's suppose you've gone through various marketing channels, right? Channel A, channel B, channel C or D, right? Now when we talk about A, let's suppose it's an email marketing. If we talk about channel B, we talk about this is a search engine result page. Channel C is, let's suppose, a social media page. Channel D is again some third party banner advertisements. Now the point is that you've been through all these 4 channels, but the ultimate purchase that you do is onto the website, because that is the only medium through which the payment can be done. All those emails, all those paid banner advertisements can give you the information, but the final purchase is being made onto your website. So it says the decisive factor, it says what the shorter, if the point of conversion and the final purchase, the difference between two, the time period is the closure, then that touch point is, attributed for the conversion. So that is why the higher value will be given to the point that is much closer to closing a sale, right? So basically this is, you could say that you are giving the weightage according to the time preferences, right? Now, sometimes there are certain touch points wherein we can also say them as U-shaped or V-shaped model, wherein U-shaped will be calling it like this and a V-shape like this. That means what is, you are giving in U-shape, you are doing what is, it is a combination of your first and last touch attribution model, wherein highest credits will be given to the starting and the ending nodes, and then it remains equal otherwise, right? That means suppose there are 4 points, right? So you will be giving 40% credit to the first touch point, you will be giving the 40% credit to the second touch point, and the remaining in between touch points will be given equal credit, that is 10% each. So that is a U-shaped multi-touch attribution model which prioritize the beginning of the journey and the last point, the very last touch point of the journey. And similarly in V-shaped model is, you give the preference to the first point, to the middle point, and then to the last point. So that is why it is V-shaped, wherein you do what is equal or the higher preferences or the attribution will be given to these 3 touch points or these 3 nodes, and the remaining will be allocated evenly among the remaining ones. So that is your V-shaped one. So there are various models as we discuss the first interaction, the last interaction, the U-shaped, time decay model, V-shaped model. So wherein the preferences or the credit to different you could say attribution models or the touch points are given according to the leads that they are able to convert into the final sales. So accordingly they are being attributed for the same. So this is all about your attribution models, wherein with the help of various key parameter indicators, let's suppose we are looking into how many people hit the website, how many people made a purchase, and what has been the average time between the first interaction and the last interaction. So along with this attribution model, we follow the matrix, and accordingly we decide upon that what are the crucial points, what are the most important touch points that are very crucial for any brand or a marketer so as to promote its product, and wherein the most of the amount or the fund should be channelized, right? Now, proceeding the things up, we'll be talking about various emerging technologies for digital marketing. Now, why we are talking about these emerging technologies is, since we talked about digital marketing, we talked about its strategies, the attribution model. Now, since it is a digital world, various other technologies are making their way into this digital era, and it is very important to recognize the due importance of all these upcoming technologies. So although there are many technologies that are coming up with disruptive innovation in the market, but will be predominantly be talking about some selective ones, right? So let's just talk about, because this is a world of AI, this is a world of machine learning. So AI, machine learning is also entering the digital sphere, it is entering the online marketing platform. So the first very disruptive innovation is your smart speakers, right? Now, there has been a proliferation of smart speakers, and this is one of the recent development and the most important development in the recent years. Now, as you could see that as per a social report, around 56 million smart speakers were sold to consumers in 2018, and they said that they will sell about this much devices in 2019 and making an addition every year. Now, what is the point? Through this statistics also reveal the same thing, that there has been an emergence of smart speakers. There are various brands which are coming up with these smart speakers, right? These smart speakers are also being used by the marketers to place their advertisements and market their products and services. You see, there being n number of products into the market, product A, B, C, D, and so on, and coming with those competitive prices, right, wherein customer find it very easy because it creates an entire ecosystem. So many a customer install these smart speakers so as to create that integrated, well balanced, rounded ecosystem, so that there stands a proper mechanism, right? So for marketers, it becomes a very, you could say, opportunity wherein they can advertise their products or services through these smart speakers, right? Another thing is, since these smart speakers are digitally trained, they are, intelligent, they are artificially intelligent, as we talk about AR, right? So they have those skills that they connect with their audience, right? So if I say that, this, play a song or play a news, recommend good products, recommend good services. So, using this skill, using this application through these smart speakers, the marketers can, heavily penetrate onto the skills to connect with their audience. So, if a consumer say, so and so devices, people name their devices like A, B, and C. So, if I say A, please play today's news for me. So it will, that device will play all the relevant news for the day, and it will also tell them about the upcoming, let's suppose, the car launches, upcoming product launches into the market. So that can be one way about telling or informing the consumer about the product or the brand, right? It's associated services. Another is your flash briefing. So when we are saying flash briefing is what? When people do what is, they want to get a very quick update about the morning news, about the weather today, about the day-to-day informations. So users do what is, they can choose the sources through which they want to hear about the news, and they want their smart speakers to play the specific news or the songs from those particular sources. So flash briefing is giving a very quick update, a little brief information about the weather, about the news, about the latest songs or the movies even. So that is also one way to connect with the audiences, and this all is being done through these trained smart speakers, right? And yes, they are heavily being used by a lot of marketers in present time. The second one is the rise of voice search. Now we go through any application wherein, which is a messaging application, wherein we are just having a basic chat with second person, right? We simply go for doing what is, we go for voice recording or voice search. Supposingly I don't know the meaning of some word, or I want to buy something, so I'll say, find this stores near me, find a outlet near me, find a, let's suppose, a food eatery near me, find a, let's suppose, a clothing shop near me. So these voice searches, it's changing the way you could say the search marketing professionals can optimize their website, so that whenever I go for the voice search, it is their website that comes onto the top list, that pops up onto the same. So again, they are targeted keywords, they are queries, where now I'm not punching those queries or keywords, I'm simply doing what is, I'm making the use of extensive adoption of voice search technology, and the minute I say, hey, go for this thing, or find me some best stores of the same, so accordingly it will reflect the topmost websites for the same. So that is what is the power of voice search. So if As per the recent report by Statista, it talks about the future of voice recognition, wherein it talks about the estimated 35% of US households that are equipped with at least one smart speaker, and 2025 the predictions are that this penetration will rise by 75%. So this report gives a little reflection about the US market, where it is very common for every household to have at least one smart speakers, and they enable these smart speakers using the voice recognition mechanism. So that ways you can talk about that yes, this is the emerging technology wherein consumers are preferring to go for queries by going for voice searches instead of typing the stuff. So almost 71% of consumers, as per a study, they prefer to go for voice searches instead of typing onto the same. So that shows the due relevance of various voice assistants. They are able to bring that voice revolution, and it is growing, it is evoluting. It is not just the US market, it is also entering into the Indian market, into the Asian markets, into various other European markets. So you can say that these are the technologies, these are the emerging disruptive innovations through which the marketers are better able to connect with their end consumers, right? So over the time period, there will be a main, you could say, shift into how the consumers search for the things they see for or they find for the products. And when we are talking about these voice searches, right, or using these smart speakers, the words are not long tail keywords. They are very short keywords. Like, I will never say most expensive women clothing brand. Rather, I will say clothing brand, which is short to speak, right? Consumer now finds the convenience into everything, right? So the marketer has to see that the consumer will never ever go for a long tail keyword, rather it will go for a shorter keyword. So accordingly, they should optimize their website or applications that the most common generic word should be used, because in a market you will find every type of consumer. So see for that the very word that will be so common for the consumer to utter, to articulate while searching for a good, right? So accordingly, the consumers, the marketers has to see for the same, right? Another one is your chatbots in marketing. So chatbots are on to rise. You would see into every brand you name, A, B, C, D, whatever brand you take the name of, they are having chatbots mechanism which will help the brand interact with the consumers in a better manner and provide them the best of the experience, right? So these chatbots are not just making the customer experience a seamless one, but it is also shortening the grievance procedure. It is also shortening the purchase cycles. So every application, whether we talk about with respect to traveling, with respect to hotels, with respect to your groceries, buying the stuff, clothing, anything, you would see every brand are having these chatbots, right? So these chatbots are there, which makes it super convenient and creates a sort of your integrated marketing channel wherein the customer finds it very easier to interact with an AI powered chatbot, which is able of delivering a personalized experience to clients and the customers, right? Because you would see the minute you interact with any chatbot, right, they'll say, hey, how could I help you? The minute you say, this is my, hey, I have a problem, whatever you put it into that chat box, right, they'll come up with automatically generated 5 to 10 solutions for the same. You have to simply do is click on to one of the queries that matches your grievance, right, and accordingly a customized solution will be given to you, right? So or if you want to see into that, where is your order or where is your refund, an automated response will be given to you, because these are AI powered, AI enabled chatbots, which makes the experience a super one, a seamless one for the consumers, and they helps them out in a better manner. They they position themselves as the customer is the first one. We need to serve him the first. The last one I'll be talking about the age of augmented reality, which is your AR and VR also. So AR is augmented reality. Nowadays you see multiple brands giving you those real time experiences wherein it will feel like that you yourself is there into the store and you can personally experience the stuff, or you can experience the stuff as if you want to go to buy any shoe. How would it look onto you? Any dress, how would it look onto you? You have to simply do what is click a photograph of yours, upload it, and just see that how the dress fits onto you, how the shoe fits onto you, how the spectacles fit onto you, or you want to buy any furniture for your home, how click a photograph of your room and just see how the furniture suits to that particular corner of your room. So this is what we are talking about, the disruptive innovations, how these disruptive innovations are going to bring a major change in, or they are actually bringing that major change in the digital marketing world. A number of your brands are making an appropriate, a very efficient utilization of all these disruptive innovations. Whether we talk about smart speakers, we talk about voice recognitions, chatbots, augmented reality, virtual reality. So every your marketer is trying to enhance or penetrate onto the power of AI, right? So that's it for the day. We'll be continuing, we'll be discussing a lot more about your digital marketing in the coming segments. So thank you.